Why did it take this long for America's parks to put Americans first? The National Park Service is rolling out a policy that, for many Americans, feels like nothing more than common sense. But for Washington, it's a major shift. Starting today, fee-free days at national parks apply only to U.S. citizens and permanent residents. Non-residents will still have access, but they will pay more. And the reaction tells you everything about the divide in this country. Supporters say the policy simply restores priority to the people who fund, maintain, and inherit these lands. For generations, Americans assumed their national parks were, by definition, theirs. But over the last decade, as visitation surged and infrastructure strained, the system bent under the weight of global tourism. Crowded trails, overrun facilities, and a reservation system that locked out locals became the norm. Today's policy is the first step toward correcting that imbalance. Critics, of course, call it exclusionary. They say it sends the wrong message. They say it undermines America's image. But those same critics rarely acknowledge the frustration of American families who couldn't get into their own parks on holiday weekends, or who watched maintenance budgets collapse while visitation soared. They never mention the communities that rely on these parks or the taxpayers who foot the bill for every trail, road, and rescue operation. This policy doesn't close the gates, it doesn't ban anyone, it simply recognizes that a nation has the right to prioritize its own people, especially when those people have been pushed to the margins of its own public lands. And if that idea sounds controversial, it's only because Washington spent years pretending that public meant everyone but the public who pays for it. The Interior Department says the goal is to restore access for American families and reduce strain on overcrowded parks. Rangers on the ground say the change will help manage traffic, protect fragile ecosystems, and keep the park from being loved to death. And for millions of Americans who grew up visiting these places, it feels like a long overdue course correction. Make no mistake, this is another signal. When the first day of the year brings a border tax and American first park rules, it tells you the country is shifting back towards something it lost, the idea that national resources exist first for the nation. Dispatches continue at 1.